If someone can still make you angry today, you're still their slave. This is a hard truth, but an essential one for real freedom. If a glance wounds you, if a word disarms you, if the slightest provocation can shake your inner state, then you're not truly free. You're a puppet of the world, your emotional strings pulled by external forces and the whims of others. Every day you let others decide your mood, allowing their actions, their words, or even their silence to dictate your inner landscape. They drag you into chaos, into the frenzy of their own ungoverned emotions, and you willingly follow. But enough already. How much longer are you going to live like this? Vulnerable, exposed to every external stimulus, feeling broken inside by the slightest setback? This isn't a path to peace or power. Today I'll teach you how to harden your mind, not into callous indifference, but into resilient fortitude. I'll show you how to shield your calm from the intrusions of the external world. Get ready, because this hurts. It will challenge your deeply ingrained habits and beliefs, but it sets you free. It liberates you from the tyranny of reactivity. In this video, you'll discover 11 Stoic lessons that aren't pretty or comfortable to confront, for they demand rigorous self-examination, but they are necessary for true inner mastery. Each one is a blow to your old beliefs, a direct challenge to the assumptions that have kept you enslaved to external forces. Each is a powerful weapon that will make you immune to anger and anxiety, not by suppressing them, but by transforming your relationship with them. Today you'll learn to look your demons in the eye, your inner fears, your irrational impulses, and silence them with serenity. To withstand chaos without letting it touch you internally. To turn your mind into an impenetrable fortress, a citadel of peace and reason that nothing external can shatter. If you're truly ready to stop being weak and to take ownership of yourself, your emotions, and your inner world, then stay here. There's no comfort here, no sugar-coated platitudes, only the truth, and the truth will make you invincible in the face of adversity. They say there are two kinds of people: those who collapse when someone points at them, their inner peace shattered by external judgment, and those who stand so firm that the other person gets tired first, their composure unwavering. Daniel, for most of his life, was the first kind, and he didn't even know it. He was a walking embodiment of reactivity. Daniel reacted to everything. If a car honked at him on the road, he'd yell back even louder, his anger flaring instantly. If his boss raised an eyebrow, he was already imagining he was about to be fired, his mind spinning into catastrophic scenarios. If his partner stayed quiet for too long, he'd start an argument just to fill the silence, fearing rejection. He was like a sandcastle in the middle of a storm. All it took was one wave, one minor provocation, to bring it crashing down. Until one Thursday, he finally realized. That day, he arrived late to the office, still with his heart pounding from a fight at home. His boss glanced at him and said, "We'll talk later." That was it, a simple, neutral phrase. But Daniel felt like the world was collapsing on him. In his mind, he was already packing up his things, explaining to his mother that he'd been fired, calculating how he'd pay rent with what was left in his account. During the meeting, he couldn't hear a word, his mind a whirlwind of anxiety. All he could hear was the pounding in his temples and the voice in his head saying, "You're about to lose everything." When his boss finally called him into the office, Daniel sat there tense, bracing for the blow, expecting the worst. But what he heard was, "Relax. I just wanted to ask for your help on a project. I trust you." And right then, in that ridiculous moment, that instance of profound misinterpretation, he felt something inside him break, because he realized that everything he'd suffered that afternoon hadn't come from the outside. He'd caused it himself. Nobody was attacking him. Nobody was destroying him, except himself. His own reactions were his worst enemy. He left work dazed, wandered aimlessly, and ended up inside a small bookstore. He didn't know what he was looking for until among dusty shelves, he saw a book with a nearly torn cover. The Handbook of Life, Epictetus. He opened it at random without thinking and read, "As long as you care what others think of you, you are their slave." Daniel stood still, hands trembling, the book open as if it were a mirror reflecting his own enslavement. For the first time, he understood he wasn't free, that everyone who pushed him, criticized him, or ignored him was pulling his strings because he had let them into his mind. He had given them permission to dictate his inner state. That night, he slept better than he had in years, his mind quieter than ever. And the next morning, when his partner threw a sarcastic comment at breakfast, he took a deep breath, smiled, and said, "Have a good day," without venom, without letting someone else's chaos get inside him. He refused to be dragged into their drama. Daniel didn't become a wise man overnight, but he understood a brutal truth. Every time you react the way they expect, you hand them the keys to your peace. You surrender your inner sanctuary. Every time you choose silence and calm, you take them back. You reclaim your autonomy. And that day in a forgotten bookstore, Daniel stopped being a slave and began to practice the freedom Epictetus taught centuries ago. Because it doesn't matter what happens outside if what you carry inside can no longer be touched. Your inner fortress remains impenetrable. Now tell me something. How many times a day do you let others decide how you feel? How many times do you give your calm away to anyone who crosses your path? If that question stings a little, if it reveals a truth you've been avoiding, subscribe and become an exclusive member to keep learning how to shield your mind and take back control of your peace. And tell me in the comments what robs your calm the most, or simply write, "Stoic at heart. From today on, only I govern my inner world." 1. Your brain thinks you're in danger. Have you ever felt your voice trembling and your hands going cold just because someone takes a little too long to reply to your message? Or when someone cuts in line at the supermarket and instead of reacting, you just freeze, your face burning and your heart racing? Or that car horn in traffic that makes you grip the wheel like your life depends on it, your body tense with anxiety? My friend, that's not you, the rational, composed individual. It's your brain which believes you've just been kicked out of the tribe and are about to die alone in the jungle. That's why it reacts as if a tiger were lurking nearby, even though all you're facing is a notification on your phone or a boss who hasn't answered you yet. Inside, your body sets off all the alarms because your limbic system doesn't know the difference between a roar on the savannah and a "we'll talk later" in an office. To it, both mean danger, a threat to your survival. Epictetus explained it centuries before neuroscientists gave it a name. He said, "We are not affected by what happens, but by how we interpret it." He was so clear on this that even as a slave, facing extreme circumstances, he didn't let himself get carried away by fear or rage. He lived with a calm that today would seem impossible for most. Just imagine Epictetus receiving a "we'll talk later" in the year 60. He'd probably raise an eyebrow and say, "That's not up to me," while calmly continuing to write on his tablet. But you don't react like Epictetus, at least not yet. You're still in that office staring at the screen, remembering you sent the report with a little joke at the end. 2 hours have passed and your boss looks at you seriously and without any emotion, drops an "we'll talk later." In your head, you've already rewritten your resume. Imagine yourself explaining to your parents that you've been fired and even selling bracelets on a beach to survive. Your hands sweat, your stomach twists, your throat dries up, and you can barely keep typing. If you're ready to change, to stop reacting as if the world were full of lions, to start keeping calm and teaching your brain that there are no mortal threats in the office, there's something you can do to start. When you notice your palms sweating and your mind running a marathon of anxious thoughts, quietly say to yourself, "This is not a real threat." And if you need to write it on a Post-it and stick it to your screen as a constant reminder, do it. Then give what you're feeling a precise name. Psychologist Ethan Kross explains this very well. When you name and contextualize your emotions, when you label them, you reduce their intensity. That helps you master your mind and emotions so that nothing and no one can steal your calm or control your inner peace. What can you say? For example, "I'm afraid of losing my partner," or "I'm nervous right now because I have an interview." By naming it, you gain distance. And finally, act exactly the opposite of what your impulse demands. If you feel like sending a second email full of apologies or panicking, don't. Get up, go get some water, breathe deeply, and come back to your desk with a smile. Even if there's still an entire zoo inside you, on the outside, you're showing that you're the one holding the reins of your behavior, because every time you choose to respond with serenity instead of reacting with fear, you're teaching your brain a lesson it will never forget, that you're no longer a slave to your impulses. And little by little, that turns you into someone capable of mastering their mind and emotions, so nothing and no one can steal your calm or rule over your peace. That's where your true freedom begins. 2. Stay quiet when it's hardest. Oh, look who finally showed up on time. A miracle. Wow, you really know how to pick an outfit for sleeping. Of course, nobody expects anything from you because you're not worth expecting anything from. Sound familiar? We've all been hit with lines like these, designed to provoke, to belittle, to shake our composure. And the worst part isn't hearing them. The worst part is letting them steal your calm. It happened to me too. At a family dinner, between laughter and plates being passed around, my uncle with his mouth full of bread blurted out in front of everyone, "No wonder you don't have a partner with that personality. Who could stand you?" I felt my blood shoot up like a rocket. I already had a comeback about his third divorce right on the tip of my tongue. The impulse to retaliate was overwhelming, but I took a breath, stood up, and went to serve myself more salad without saying a word. The silence stung more than any insult. You could hear the clinking of cutlery and see people's eyes awkwardly looking away, while I kept chewing my lettuce with my head held high, maintaining my composure. Now imagine this happens to you. You're in the middle of a wedding, a public and joyful event. Your partner in front of your friends throws a sarcastic jab because you arrived late. Of course, always have to wait for you as usual. Everyone laughs, some nervously, some out of genuine amusement. You feel your face burn, your palms sweat, and the urge to fire back with something just as cruel to humiliate them right there. But instead, you choose to stay quiet. You raise your glass with a faint smile and look at them calmly. That pause, that controlled coldness, that deliberate refusal to engage unsettles everyone more than a shout ever could. Because in that moment, you didn't just stay centered. You left the other person dangling in their own poison, their own unresolved anger or insecurity. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. He said, "Everyone acts according to what they know and who they are. Don't get angry, have compassion." And he didn't just say it to sound virtuous. He practiced it in war, in the Senate, in his daily life. When someone shouted at him, accused him, or betrayed him, he looked them in the eyes, breathed, and let them drown in their own noise. Because he understood that silence isn't submission. It's a strategy to keep yourself from being dragged into someone else's mud. It's a powerful act of self-preservation, and you too can learn to master your mind and emotions so nothing and no one can steal that calm or rule your inner peace. So my friend, next time the words burn in your throat, try this. Engage in a conscious silence for 5 to 7 seconds before you respond. That pause isn't just any pause. It's a stoic silence so firm that the other person starts to hear themselves and feel uncomfortable with their own provocation. It's like holding up a mirror to their behavior without saying a thing. If you still feel the fire inside and your jaw trembling with the urge to react, look at them calmly and ask in a soft voice, "Could you repeat that?" Very few people can repeat an insult in the cold light of day, for it exposes their malice, and those who do only expose themselves as unreasonable. If you want to go a step further, throw a question that confronts them without aggression, but with intent. For instance, "Did you say that to offend me?" Or, "How did you want me to feel when you said that?" Or even, "Does saying that make you feel better?" You'll see them lower their gaze, stammer, falter, because they weren't expecting you to keep control. My friend, silence used at the right moment isn't weakness, it's mastery. And when you manage to use it right when it hurts the most, when the provocation is sharpest, you discover that no one can drag you into their chaos or rule your inner peace. That, my friend, is what makes you immune to anger and anxiety. 3. No one rules over your peace. Why do you keep giving away your peace like it's a glass of water at a party, freely, unguarded? To anyone who asks, every time someone provokes you and you explode in anger, you're letting them rule you. And the worst part is you don't even realize it. It seems all it takes is a dirty look or a spiteful comment for you to become someone else's puppet. Your emotional strings controlled by their behavior. Picture this. You're in line at the supermarket after a horrible day. Your head is full of worries. Your neck is tight. And all you want is to get home. Suddenly, a stranger bumps you with their cart and snaps, "Can you hurry up?" Inside, you feel something crack. You feel your blood boil and 1,000 cutting replies rush through your mind. You're just about to unload everything you've been holding back all day. But in that moment, it becomes clear. If you do it, if you fall into the trap, that person just became your master for a whole minute or longer. Do they really deserve that kind of power over you, over your inner peace? You're not the first this has happened to. Once Socrates was insulted in the street for several minutes while others looked on curiously. He didn't say a word, his composure unwavering. Later, someone asked him why he hadn't responded, and Socrates smiled and said, "If a donkey kicked me, would I sue it?" With that, he made it clear, it's not about winning every argument or retaliating against every insult, but about understanding you don't need to lower yourself to that level. If a donkey kicks you, it's not because it has some master plan to hurt you. It's a donkey, and it does what donkeys do. Likewise, there are people who know nothing but to throw punches and venom, to provoke, to criticize, to hurt. You decide whether to behave like them or like someone who masters their own mind. Psychologist Guy Winch calls this emotional hygiene. He says taking care of your emotional state is just as important as brushing your teeth. You wouldn't let someone come along and stuff your mouth with dirt, right? So don't let them dirty your calm either, because my friend, no one can control your peace unless you hand them the keys. So are you ready to shield your peace from these intrusions? First, decide in advance that no one deserves to see your worst side. Make a conscious commitment to protect your inner composure. For example, before walking into a meeting or an awkward dinner, remind yourself, today, nothing and no one steals my calm. This is what the Stoics did. Marcus Aurelius. Every morning prepared himself for the worst. He wrote, "When day breaks, remind yourself I will meet the indiscreet, the ungrateful, the insolent, the deceitful, the envious, the unsociable." All this happens because they are ignorant of good and evil. You see, he wasn't surprised when people misbehaved. He already expected it, thus neutralizing its power to shock or provoke him. Then when someone tries to ruin your day, imagine their words are bubbles. You hear them. They may even grab your attention for a second, but they pop as soon as they reach you and leave no trace. Don't hold on to them. Don't collect them. Don't let them settle in your mind. And finally, if for some reason you lose control and react badly, don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself quickly and return to your center. Like the sea after a storm, your peace can always return as long as you stop feeding the waves of anger and resentment. Tell me in the comments, what's the situation where it's been hardest for you to keep your calm? And if you'd rather sum it all up in one phrase to remind yourself every day, write Stoic at heart. Because every time you choose not to react and stay centered, my friend, you prove that no one rules over your peace. 4. Not everything is about you. Yes, my friend, you heard that right. Not everything is about you. Even if it's hard to admit, even if your ego kicks and screams and insists that every gesture and every glance is directed at you, the truth is much simpler. People are rarely thinking about you. And though that may sting at first, it's actually a huge relief when you fully grasp it. Because there are days when it feels like you're wearing a satellite dish on your head, scanning the room, catching every whisper, every laugh in the distance, convinced you're the star of the gossip, the center of attention. You walk down the street and someone frowns and you already think, what did I do? Your mind immediately jumps to self-blame or paranoia. But let me tell you something. The world does not revolve around you, and thank goodness. Because when you let go of that idea that everything has to do with you, you also let go of tons of anxiety. You free yourself from that exhausting paranoia of thinking every comment, every gesture, every silence is a judgment about you. You finally understand that everyone else is too busy with their own chaos to be organizing one just for you. And I know it's not easy to shake this habit. Imagine you're at the gym. You're doing squats, focused on not falling, and out of the corner of your eye, you see two people in the corner laughing while looking your way. You feel heat rising up your back, your hands tightening around the bar, and your mind starts writing a script. Are they laughing at me? Is it my shirt? The way I'm doing the exercise? In a matter of seconds, boom, your anxiety skyrockets. You've already convinced yourself you're the joke of the day, and of course you ruin the set because you can't think about anything else. But what you don't know is that those two were just talking about a TikTok video of a salsa dancing cat that had nothing to do with you at all. Think about what Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations. Remove the opinion and you remove the I am harmed. Remove the I am harmed and the harm itself disappears. Because more often than not, it's not what happens outside. It's how you interpret it that hurts you. When you believe everything is aimed at you, you end up reacting to ghosts to illusions created by your own mind. People act from their own fears, worries, and wounds. Most of the time, they don't even see you. They're too busy wrestling with their own chaos to be plotting against you. And if you really can't stop overthinking, if you feel you need to know exactly what they thought of you to sleep in peace, let me tell you what you're telling yourself is just that, a story. Brené Brown, author and speaker, calls it exactly that, the story I'm telling myself. Because we're experts at inventing scripts where we're the villain or the laughingstock, where we are the unfortunate protagonist of every misfortune. You know what I mean? Someone doesn't reply to your message and you're sure they hate you, or they yawn while you're talking and you're convinced they're bored with you. But reality is usually much simpler. They hadn't even noticed you. They were thinking about their own stuff, trapped in their own movie with their own fears and problems. So next time you feel that satellite dish scanning for signals, turn down the volume and breathe. Not everything you see is about you. Remember, the movie other people are living doesn't have to cast you as the villain. If you're in doubt and you trust them, just ask directly. Hey, was that because of something I did? Most of the time they'll tell you it has nothing to do with you and you can move on in peace. And if you don't feel comfortable asking, drop the drama and get back to your squats. Focus on what really depends on you because everything else is just noise, a distraction from your inner work. Remember, not everything is about you and not everything deserves your energy. The moment you stop believing you're the center of everyone's attention, you'll feel a calm open up in your mind and your anxiety will dissolve. And that, my friend, is when you finally start keeping calm and living light, master of your own peace. 5. Stand firm no matter what. The courtroom was packed. The murmur was like a swarm as Nelson Mandela walked to the center. He'd been detained for months and knew there was no way out, no chance of acquittal. In the front row, his mother tried to hold back tears, her heart heavy with grief. In the back, the policeman stared at him as if he were already buried, his fate sealed. The judge, with a dry voice, asked if he wanted to say anything before being sentenced. Mandela took a deep breath, raised his head and smiled just slightly. A look of profound inner peace, as if none of it touched him. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination, and I am prepared to die, he said. And in that instant, the entire courtroom froze. No one dared to move. That serenity wasn't indifference or a lack of fear. It was power. A man with a calm mind is more dangerous than 1,000 men shouting, for his strength is rooted in principle, not mere volume. And my friend, you don't need to be standing in front of a judge to prove it to yourself. All it takes is an ordinary day at the bank counter. The line isn't moving. Your phone is burning a hole in your pocket after half an hour, and the person in front of you starts yelling at the teller. You feel the anger like a wave that hits you and pushes you forward, threatening to sweep you away. Without realizing it, your hands clench into fists. Your breath shortens and a voice in your head says, "Say something. Join in. Don't just stand there." A stranger, an absurd situation, and your calm no longer belongs to you. If Marcus Aurelius had been there, he probably would have smiled and said something like, "Lines also train patience and legs," for he saw opportunities for virtue in everyday occurrences because he already knew what we tend to forget. In his meditations, he wrote, "If something external disturbs you, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it." What does that mean? That you choose not to move with the chaos, that you decide to stand firm even if everything around you shakes. Today, more than ever, the ability to keep your mind open and serene in the middle of conflict is one of the most valuable skills. Because when someone manages to knock you off balance, when someone else decides whether you get angry or not, it's because you've handed them control of your inner peace, and that peace is not for sale. It is your most precious possession. So if you want nothing to pull you out of your center, listen to this. First, prepare yourself beforehand. Each morning as you get dressed, remind yourself that things won't go as you expect. Quietly say, "Today I will meet impatient people, rude people, people fighting their own battles, and none of that will take away my calm." It's like sharpening your sword before the battle, a mental preparation for the inevitable challenges. Then when the storm comes, because it will come, and you're there in the bank line with someone yelling at the teller and your heart racing, don't fight it. Stay like someone watching the rain from the window. Notice how the other person yells, how your hands sweat and breathe. Just observe without getting hooked, as if that storm belonged to someone else and you stayed dry inside your inner sanctuary. And finally, if in that line, someone points at you, tries to drag you into their chaos, set boundaries calmly. You don't need to raise your voice. A brief, firm phrase is enough. We'll continue when you've calmed down. Or simply, I don't accept being spoken to like that. Said with serenity, that sentence is stronger than any shout. The storms won't stop coming, but the question isn't whether it will rain. It's whether you'll be the umbrella or the puddle. And when you learn to master your anger and your anxiety, nothing and no one can snatch away your calm or flood your inner peace. 6. Reprogram your reactions. Picture this. You're at your usual cafe, and the moment you spot the waiter, the one who once forgot your order, and on top of that, when you reminded him, replied with a bored, "Well, you'll have to wait. I'm busy." You feel your jaw clench, your back tightens, your shoulders rise, and even though he hasn't even looked at you yet, you've already ruined your coffee. The anger takes over before you even sit down. But what if today you did something different? Instead of giving him the usual cold stare, you smile, greet him with a sincere good morning, and even dare to ask how he's doing. In that moment, you notice something strange. The tension wasn't coming from him. It was coming from you. It was your mind reacting automatically, following a script that no longer serves you, a pattern you've repeated countless times. And to make this clearer, let me tell you about an interesting experiment. At Duke University, they gathered several people and made them smell something really unpleasant while showing them pictures of different faces. Afterwards, even when the faces were neutral or smiling, their brains still rejected them. Why? Because the mind learns to associate quickly, forming links between unrelated stimuli. But it can also unlearn. If you can train yourself to react with rejection or anger to something as silly as a bad smell, you can also reprogram that response so it no longer robs you of your calm or your inner peace. Seneca already knew this centuries ago and summed it up like this: "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." What he meant was when emotion pushes you to react, you can choose to wait, cool your head, and respond from a different place, a place of reason and composure. If your mind has learned to jump like a spring at certain people or situations, it can also learn to stay steady and calm. That's real strength. Teaching your body and your mind that they don't have to dance to the rhythm of chaos. My friend, if you feel your emotions rule you, listen closely. First, write them down. Take a piece of paper and jot down in just a few words what you feel when someone gets under your skin. Seeing it outside your head already takes away its power and helps you understand it better. Then start changing the story you tell yourself. Stop assuming the other person is doing it to hurt you personally. Most of the time, people act from their own chaos, their own fears, not from a plan to ruin your day. That way, little by little, you stop being a victim of your own mental movies. In the meantime, breathe. Yes, it sounds simple, but it works. When you feel your blood boil, stop. Straighten your back, lower your shoulders, and take a deep breath. That pause is gold. It lets you watch what's happening as if you were looking at a scene through a window without throwing yourself into the storm. And finally, don't forget to focus on something bigger. When you have a clear purpose and something that truly matters, the little provocations lose their power and significance. It's like looking at a map. The pebbles on the path stop looking like mountains when you know where you're headed. So now you know reprogramming your reactions doesn't mean erasing your emotions. It means writing a new script where you are the master of your calm. And every time you choose not to react automatically, you become a little more master of yourself and a little less a slave to what happens outside. 7. Be grateful to those who irritate you. Not long ago, I was at the movies, settled in with my popcorn, ready to unwind. But the girl next to me wouldn't stop talking on the phone, laughing and commenting on every scene like she was in her living room. My first thought was, please let the earth swallow her already. I felt my fingers gripping the armrest and my ears burning with anger. But when I managed to focus, I realized that girl was like a free patience coach right there in the middle of the movie. A kind of pop quiz to see if I really had control over my mind, or if any noise could steal my calm. Now imagine you're the protagonist of this other scene. You're at a neighborhood meeting, it's already long and tense, but when it's finally your turn to speak, the typical guy who argues about everything starts interrupting you after every sentence, dismissing your points. You feel your face heating up, your legs shaking under the table, and you've already got a sharp comeback, ready to humiliate him in front of everyone. You can already picture yourself raising your voice and winning the battle with a final round of applause. But in that moment, you breathe and think, "Thanks for the practice, champ." And even though it sounds ridiculous, it feels like you've won something more important than an argument. If Marcus Aurelius were at that meeting, he would probably think, "This man is my emotional gym." Because, my friend, it's precisely in that moment, when your peace is at risk, that your true strength is tested. And if you think about it, the Stoics were right. You can't control who crosses your path, but you can control how you respond. Epictetus put it very clearly when he said, "Difficulties are what show men who they are. So every person who gets under your skin is also showing you a part of yourself that you can still strengthen. It's not just an annoying neighbor or a rude girl at the movies. It's a mirror reflecting your weak spots so you can train them, making you more resilient." So do you want to turn your enemies into personal trainers? Start by noticing which part of you is getting triggered. Maybe it's your pride, thinking no one should speak to you like that. Or maybe it's your insecurity, feeling you're worthless if you don't win the argument. Or maybe it's just your impatience, your inability to tolerate someone else's pace. For example, next time someone cuts you off while you're speaking, ask yourself, which part of me feels attacked? Then change the question you're asking yourself. Instead of, why are they doing this to me? Say, what are they teaching me? The answer might surprise you. Maybe they're teaching you to listen better, to have more control over your gestures, to stop depending so much on other people's approval. And finally, practice mentally thanking them for the lesson. Even if on the outside you're just smiling through clenched teeth, inside you can repeat a little mantra to help you remember. Thanks for helping me train, or this also makes me stronger. Every annoying person is like a weight at the gym. The more you lift it, the stronger you get. And no one is going to train for you. So tell me in the comments who's been your patience. Coach this week or simply write, "I'm grateful to those who challenge me." 8. Let everyone follow their own path. Have you ever watched how a butterfly tries to get out of its cocoon? It looks weak, moves slowly, struggles to make space, and you feel like helping it, tearing the cocoon with your fingers so it can get out faster. But if you do, you destroy it. Because that struggle is exactly what strengthens its wings. My friend, the same happens with people. Everyone needs their own time to unfold their wings, to learn their own lessons. And sometimes what does the most harm is not staying quiet, but sticking your hands in where you shouldn't with impatience and rush, disguised as help. Put yourself in this situation. Your best friend is dating someone who's no good for him. You know it. You can see it clearly. And it drives you crazy that he doesn't. You've already told him 1,000 times that this relationship is sinking him, that it's detrimental to his well-being. One afternoon, after yet another argument, he looks at you with cold eyes and says, "Leave it, I know what I'm doing." You just stand there, heart burning, stomach twisted, that bitter feeling of helplessness swirling in your head as you walk home alone. That night, you catch yourself wondering if maybe you've been pushing his cocoon before it's ready. If your need for him to change isn't stronger than his need to learn on his own. And if you think about it, Marcus Aurelius already said it. Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people whom fate brings you, but do so with all your heart. He wasn't just talking about accepting the world when it suits us, but also about accepting the processes of others, even when they drive us mad with their choices. In his life, it said he had to endure stubborn generals and advisors who made bad decisions over and over. And instead of yelling or forcing them, he chose patience, example, presence. Because he understood that calm is not about resignation. It's about choosing not to be dragged by anyone else's haste or their errors. Jay Akuno, creator of the podcast Unthinkable, puts it brilliantly. True influence happens when the other person feels respected, not pressured. Pressure creates resistance. Respect opens space for someone to listen. It's like watering a seed. You can pour water on it, but you can't pull on the stem to make it grow faster. So my friend, next time you see someone making a mistake, breathe and remember, it's not your battle to fight for them. If you want to help, lead by example without lectures, like someone who lights a candle in the dark and waits for the other to choose to look at it. Listen without interrupting. Even if your blood is boiling inside with frustration, and let them feel that. When they're finally ready to take a step, you'll be there, ready to support without judgment. And in the meantime, tend to your own garden, keep your composure, and let them bloom at their own pace. Even if the path they choose looks like the clumsiest in the world to you, in the end, keeping calm also means letting go of the need to control other people's timing. Let everyone follow their own path, because wings that unfold by choice are the only ones that truly know how to fly. And if while you're listening to this, you feel your mind still rules you more than you'd like, maybe it's time to watch the other video on screen. In it, you'll finally learn how to make your mind obey you and take back control. It's going to open your eyes. 9. Your worth isn't out there. Really, my friend, I ask you to think about this seriously. How many times a day do you wait for someone's approval? How many times do you need to hear "well done" to feel like you matter? And how many times have you felt small just because nobody looked at you or replied to you? Self-esteem that depends on others is like a glass vase teetering on the edge of a table. One little push and it shatters. Now picture this. You post a photo on social media and a whole hour goes by without a single like. At first you tell yourself it doesn't matter. But then you start looking at it again and questioning yourself. Do I look bad? Does no one care? You feel a knot in your stomach. Your face heats up and anxiety rises like a runaway train. All over a few clicks on a screen. Epictetus understood this perfectly, and not because he had Instagram. He said, don't worry about what's beyond your control. He stayed focused on the only thing he truly could control: his actions, his decisions, his character. He never needed anyone to tell him he was doing well to know he was, because his worth wasn't out there in the eyes of others. It was in what he did when no one was watching. But don't worry, you're not the only one who feels this way. Even the people who today seem masters of their calm have been through it too. Jay Machete shared on his podcast that as a teenager, he tried to fit in at all costs. He joined the rugby team, and no, not because he liked it, but because he wanted to be seen as strong and brave. Every day he acted just to be accepted, and the more he tried, the further away from himself he felt, until one day, he realized that performance only fueled his anxiety and pulled him away from who he truly was. Now I ask you, my friend, do you really want to keep looking for your worth in the eyes of others? Don't you see that only brings you more anxiety? It's time to start looking at yourself, to cultivate an inner wellspring of self-worth. So listen to these tips as if I were telling them to you in confidence. First, stop acting just to fit in. If you notice you're doing something only to impress, like Jay with rugby, stop and ask yourself, is this what I want or what they expect of me? That question already calms your mind because it puts the choice back in your hands. For example, imagine you're going to a party just so you don't look bad. Even though you'd rather stay home and rest, ask yourself, am I going because it excites me or because I'm afraid they'll judge me if I don't? If the answer is the second one, give yourself permission not to go and you'll feel the anxiety fade. Then reconnect with who you really are. Jay said that even though he didn't feel enough at school, at home he always felt loved by his mother. Find that place of yours, that refuge where you know you're enough, even if nobody applauds. Think, for instance, of a moment in your life when you felt safe and at peace, even if no one congratulated you for anything. Maybe a quiet walk at sunset, maybe cooking for yourself with no one watching. Go back to those little gestures and remember your worth doesn't depend on a stage or an audience. And finally, shift your focus. Jay discovered that serving others brought him peace and made him feel whole. When you focus on contributing instead of impressing, anxiety fades and calm returns. For example, next time you walk into a meeting or a dinner with friends, instead of thinking, will they like me? Change the question to, how can I help others feel good today? As soon as you shift that perspective, you stop being a prisoner of their opinion and become someone who adds to the room, a source of positive energy. When your self-image depends on you, you're like a rock in the middle of the tide, unmoved even when the sea roars, because nothing and no one can steal your calm or control your inner peace. 10. Master your anger before you speak. Anger is like a fire in a kitchen. It starts with a spark, spreads in seconds, and before you know it, boom, it's already burned everything down, leaving devastation in its wake. In those moments, my friend, the only thing that matters is whether you know how to shut off the valve before the flames consume you. And I'm sure something like this has happened to you before. You're in the family WhatsApp group and suddenly your cousin writes, "Of course, as always, you only show up when there's free food. Never miss that, huh?" In front of everyone. Your fingers tense on the screen. You start furiously typing a devastating reply that in your mind will shut him up. A perfect verbal retaliation. You feel the anger burning in your cheeks and even in your stomach, and you hit send without thinking much about it. The group falls silent. A little later, another cousin responds curtly. Your mom calls you on the phone, and when the conversation ends, you realize you've started a family fire that will take weeks to put out, all because you couldn't wait 10 seconds before answering. Now tell me, do you think the ability to wait, to bite your tongue, and not react on impulse can be trained? Well, psychologists proved it decades ago with nothing more than a marshmallow. In the 1970s, psychologist Walter Mitchell conducted the famous marshmallow experiment. He put several kids in front of a marshmallow and told them, "If you don't eat it for 10 minutes, I'll give you another one." Those who managed to wait developed years later better emotional skills and greater personal success. The moral? Anger is also a marshmallow, and you decide whether to gobble it down instantly or wait for a better reward. If Marcus Aurelius had taken part in that marshmallow experiment, I guarantee he would have waited not 10, but all day if necessary. He too faced situations where his patience was constantly tested, but his response was always the same: serene calm. As he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Because anger speaks before thinking, and mastering it means winning twice. Over the other and over yourself. If you're thinking that mastering your anger is an impossible mission, I have good news for you. It's not. Maybe your first reaction was something like, "Yeah, sure, easy to say." My friend, I get it, but that's precisely why today, I'm going to give you the keys so that next time you don't lose your cool or hand your peace over to anger. First, you're going to do what Dan Harris calls the anchor. And it's not just a name, it's the rope that keeps you tied to the present when the tide of anger tries to sweep you away. The idea is this: before you open your mouth or hit send, stop. Take 3 deep breaths, but really feel the air going in and out. Inhale while counting to 4. Feel your chest expand. Exhale while counting to 6. Feel everything deflate. It's not magic, it's space. Space so your response isn't automatic, so you don't regret it later. Picture this. You're driving and someone cuts you off like they're in a hurry to get to hell. Your blood rushes to your head and your hand is already on the horn. But no, you rest your hands on the wheel. Close your eyes for a second, take 3 deep breaths, and when you open them, you're still in control of yourself, not of their rage. Next comes what he calls scanning the body. Sounds technical, but it's pure instinct. When anger gets under your skin, it doesn't do it quietly. It lodges in your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach. So go against it. Bring your attention to those areas. Find the tension, and with each exhale, let it go. Release it like loosening a knot that's too tight. If you're in the middle of a meeting and someone interrupts you with a venomous sarcasm in front of everyone, scan your body. Notice how your jaw turns to stone. Your chest burns. Detect the tension. Relax your shoulders. Breathe. And when you open your mouth, it won't be fire that comes out, but calm. And that, believe me, disarms anyone. For composure in the face of provocation is a powerful force. Mastering anger doesn't mean swallowing it. It means cooking it slowly until it loses its venom. And when you can do that, no one can poison you with their malice. And now, my friend, stay with me because what's coming in the last point is the cherry on top. That final detail that makes all this mental strength truly worth it. 11. Good or bad, you decide. Not long ago, a friend of mine missed his flight because he overslept. He arrived at the airport red with rage, slamming his hands on the counter, cursing his luck, almost yelling at the attendant, his eyes blazing. He kept saying it was the worst day of his life, that nothing ever went right for him. He spent quite a while pacing around the terminal like a volcano about to erupt. A few hours later, while he sat at the airport restaurant, his coffee cold and his gaze empty, he heard on the news that his flight had suffered a serious mechanical failure and passengers had to be evacuated in an emergency. In that moment, he froze, the cup halfway to his mouth, as if someone had extinguished the fire inside him. He lowered his shoulders side and murmured to himself, "So was it really bad?" And tell me, my friend, how many times has something like that happened to you? Imagine tomorrow your boss calls you into the office and tells you you're fired. Your heart drops to your feet and you think it's the worst moment of your life, a catastrophe. But a few weeks later, you find a better job, one you wouldn't even have looked for if you hadn't been fired. Or you start your own business and discover you've never been so happy or so free. So, was it really bad, or was it the push you needed, a catalyst for a better future? The other day I read something by the macro wizard and it made me smile because it was so simple and true. He said something like, if there's no reason to feel good, then there's no reason to feel bad either. And it's true. Your mood doesn't depend so much on what happens outside as on how you interpret it. If you decide to see it as a catastrophe, it will be. If you choose to see it as an opportunity, it will be. For the Stoics, this idea that nothing is good or bad in itself wasn't just a nice phrase for a poster, it was a daily practice, almost a mental workout. Marcus Aurelius, for example, started each morning with a kind of dress rehearsal for what might go wrong. He told himself he would surely meet someone ungrateful, rude, envious, unjust that day, and that none of it had to steal his peace. That way, when the offense or bad news came, he wasn't surprised. He was already prepared to see it for what it was, neutral, and then he could choose his reaction, his response. So the next time something shakes you, ask yourself, what would a Stoic think about this? Would he see it as good or bad? Just that already shifts your perspective because it forces you to step out of the drama and look calmly, but careful. It's not enough to understand this in your head. You have to train it like any muscle. So here's a little practical exercise, simple but powerful, that I practice myself. The good or bad journal. Every night at the end of the day, take a notebook and write down 2 situations that annoyed or frustrated you. Maybe a coworker interrupted you in a meeting. Maybe someone arrived late and made you wait. Maybe a proposal was rejected. Whatever it is, write what you felt in that moment and what story you told yourself about it. Then in the next column, write what possible lesson or benefit that situation might be hiding, no matter how small. Maybe the interruption forced you to explain yourself more clearly. Maybe the wait gave you 5 minutes of quiet you wouldn't have had otherwise. Maybe the rejection saved you from a commitment that wasn't right for you. And don't get frustrated if at first you don't see anything positive. As Marcus Aurelius said, loss is nothing but change, and change is nature's delight. Sometimes the lesson takes time to appear, but just looking for it is already reprogramming your mind to stop reacting as a victim and start acting as the master of yourself. Finally, whenever you think something bad is happening to you, repeat this phrase in your mind. This story isn't over yet, because it's not. The ending might turn out completely different from what you imagine now. Little by little, you train your eyes to see beyond the surface, to stop labeling things as good or bad right away and let life surprise you with its wisdom. Because in the end, things are like clay. You can see it as dirt or as the material to shape something new and beautiful. Mastering your mind and your emotions is the real victory, my friend. Every day you have the chance to choose calm over chaos, to decide that no one else controls your peace. It's not about waiting for everything around you to change. It's about learning to own what does depend on you, your attitude, your reactions, your serenity. Because true strength isn't measured by how loud you can shout, but by how much calm you can keep when everything shakes. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "I choose calm above all." That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who made it all the way to the end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, check the description box. We've left some resources there to help you dive deeper into Stoic teachings. Our goal is to bring you as much value as possible. And if at any point you feel like supporting us so we can keep creating this kind of content, you'll find how to do that in the pinned comment. Now I invite you to explore the playlist on screen. It's designed to help you face life with greater wisdom and confidence. Click it and let's keep growing together. Until the next talk, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.